Hello, welcome. About a week ago, I unboxed the Flight Travel Ukulele and I promised you that I would do a 1-week update. You also sent in great questions in the comments, which I loved, so I'm going to answer some of those questions now. By the way, if you would like to learn how to play ukulele from scratch, see song tutorials, unboxings, and reviews, then subscribe to this channel. Okay, so now let's talk about the Flight Ukulele. Somebody asked me what the texture is like because you have a sensitivity to texture, so I'll talk about that. Thank you so much for sending that in, by the way. So the front is wood and it's you can tell that it's wood. You can feel it definitely. And then the back, the plastic does have a little bit of texture to it. I'll try my best to zoom in so that you can see what that looks like. And then I hadn't noticed until you asked, but the neck, even though it's plastic, it's made to resemble wood. So I'll zoom into those and hopefully you can appreciate the texture that way. Other people wanted update on what it was like to travel with this ukulele. So I went to Kobe, Japan and mainland, and I flew through, it was domestic flights, and usually domestic flights have stricter restrictions on like the sizes of carry-ons. That's been my experience. I don't know if it's your experience, but that was my experience because I flew with budget domestic travel as well. And when they saw me carrying a ukulele, one time coming back, the TSA agent said like, "Oh, you want to carry this on?" And I said, "Yes." And she's like, "We have to measure it, ma'am." And when I told her, "Oh, that's okay, but if you want, I can fit it in my carry-on," because it honestly does fit in my suitcase. She was like, "Really, it fits?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so she still brought out her tape measure and she measured it with the gig bag. And she's like, "Oh, it's totally fine." So even though I felt like my life flashed before my eyes because I only had it on a gig bag, not a hard case, and that's like so dangerous to check in, it was good that it happens because I had a TSA agent from a domestic airline brain fart. I had someone from TSA measure it and give me the okay to fly with it, so it all worked out in the end. Something that I had to do more research on because I didn't know enough of, and Steve, thank you so much for also giving me some information on, is this 0 fret. So aside from having a nut, this ukulele has a 0 fret. And I was like, what is the 0 fret really for? How come I haven't seen it in other ukuleles before? I took some notes. Okay, so the 0 fret is located right under the nut. If you're looking at the ukulele, it's this tiny little line. The strings sit on the 0 fret and not necessarily on the nut. So the nut still serves to keep them in place so they don't wiggle all over the place, but the 0 fret is really where they're resting. So my people who really nerd out on this stuff will probably appreciate it. The 0 fret is supposed to help make an open string sound more like a string that you're pressing. So that's one of the benefits of the 0 fret. Another one of the benefits that I read is that it's supposed to give more of a consistent height. So you'll notice on some ukuleles, the height of the strings or the action on the first fret is higher than on the other strings. So this is supposed to help make sure that the spacing is pretty consistent or more level than it would be without it. And going along with that consistency, a 0 fret is supposed to give you more consistent tuning. So far, I am loving this ukulele. I have recommended it to my students who are currently shopping for a ukulele, and I'm going to recommend it to my music teacher friends because I think it's a really, really, really great bang for your buck. I had subscribers from the last video who were really surprised at how pretty and how affordable it was. Apply the discount code to make it even cheaper. So if you want a super affordable ukulele that's different and funky and mixes materials like wood and plastic, so far it has the stamp of approval from Ms. B, but again, I'm going to continue testing it for the rest of the month and I'll give you a final yes or no update in 2 weeks. If you have any questions that you would like me to address in the next video, make sure and pop them in the comments below. Or if you have this ukulele and you can answer some of those questions, also check the comments. Thank you so much for watching this Flight Travel Ukulele update. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you in the next one. Sayonara!